Obama, once again in his speech earlier, inulit na naman po niya ang kanyang commitment sa immigration reform. So what does the re-election of President Obama mean for the immigrant community? We're going to break it down for you right about now sa ating American Dream.
This American Dream segment is brought to you by Aquino & Lowe Law Firm, answering your immigration questions.
Attorney Richard Lowe from Aquino & Lowe Law Firm joining us once again today. Hello and welcome to the show. Okay, so let us talk about that immigration reform and Obama. What does another 4 years mean for Obama to the immigration community?
Well, I think really what does the election mean? Because the election showed that the Latino vote is very strong, and I think it also showed that Asian Americans can come and vote as well, and that's an important voting bloc and electoral bloc that now has to be regarded and paid attention to. And also, I think you see that the election also will force Republicans to the table. They can't take as harsh of a stand on immigration as they were doing the last 2 years, and I think that will all bring everybody to the table to really talk about what they can do to try to solve this problem of immigration.
Because 11 million undocumented immigrants, plus their families here or families outside of the U.S., so many people will be affected. American economy may be affected as well. So what does comprehensive immigration reform, according to Obama, what does it look like?
Well, I think what's on the table now, what's been talking, is really the plan that was kind of floated before between Senator Schumer and Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. And basically what that involves would be a couple of components where you are trying to deal with the 11 million who are here, giving them some sort of status or path to be normalized here in the United States where they don't have to be facing removal, and also helping to make sure that there are some changes in the visa process, because when you have lines that are decades long for people to come to the United States, that's a problem. And I think you're going to see comprehensive immigration reform will also help the DREAM Act people. So if you were thinking about DACA, now is the time to really go forward with that, because I think there's no way that the DREAM Act will not be included in any kind of comprehensive immigration reform.
I like this idea of giving visas to those with advanced degrees because, you know, at least they're working hard for that. But when you talk about making changes to the visa process, what kind of changes are we anticipating, perhaps? Or what kind of changes as an immigration lawyer would you want to see?
Well, what I'd like to see is simply more visas available to allow people to go to that line and say, well, this is a viable option. But when you're petitioning for example, an older child, and you have to wait 15 years for that child to come to the United States, I mean, that's just too long. It's really impracticable. And that also goes for the employment side. When you have somebody that you want to give a job to that is qualified, that doesn't take the place of another person's job here in the United States, and it takes 6 years for that to happen, it's just not a meaningful way to approach immigration.
There's obviously a lot of benefits, and depends on how it's written, no, and what they agree on. But there will be benefits to the immigrant community. But how are they planning to enforce this?
Well, always on the side, when you're talking benefits on one side, but you have to talk enforcement on the other. And one of the things that gets brandied about a lot is the fact that after the '96 amnesty law, that we're just back in the same position. And partly it is because we have not fixed the problem with the system. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that they're looking to do is to make sure that employers are held accountable for hiring illegal immigrants, because they are drawing people to the United States by continually giving jobs to people.
Right.
And also, you know, a lot of times in these industries, they're underpaying them. They're not giving them benefits. Yes. They're really abusing.
They're being exploited
just
in exchange for a work visa, and it's just tough.
It's tough for the immigrants, and it's not good for us. So there has to be a way to do employment side enforcement so that doesn't keep going on, and also to, as everybody says, secure the borders and all of those things.
Yeah.
Sure.
As an immigration lawyer, what do you think should they do? How do they go about securing the borders?
Well, I think if you want to secure the borders, then you give people a legal way to come into the United States, because what better security is there than having done background checks on everybody who's coming in? Mm-hmm. I think when you're just sort of letting this underground market of labor drive the people coming into the United States, that produces problems. If you want security, give people a way to come in, and then you can check their ID, you can do background checks.
All right, sounds good. So 4 more years for President Barack Obama, and you think immigration reform is going to happen within the 4 years?
Well, I think it's going to happen very soon after his inauguration in January. They're already talking about it every day in the news. You hear about immigration. I would be stunned if something didn't happen in the next year.
And it has to happen. So for now, if you have any options, if you want to legalize your stay here, you have, and if you want to talk to a lawyer about that, that's a number to call on the screen. Aquino and Lo, how many years have you been helping the Filipino community?
I've been doing this for about 15 years. My partner has been doing it for about 20.
Right. Attorney Allison Aquino, of course, and Attorney Richard Lo, thank you so much. Again, number on the screen if you want to schedule your face-to-face consultation or office consultation. Also, they do phone and email consultation as well. For now, thank you. And we will be back with sports and entertainment on Kababayan LA. Don't go away.